around 1:23, and so I just have about 20 to 25 minutes. I hope you're fine wherever you are, so let's go for it. And of course, in politics, let's start with USA. What do you think Trump has finally opened his mouth to reveal out there? And you can guess, okay? And if you know about it, maybe you can drop a comment as we get into it. I'll be digging out the receipts out of this. Yeah, so United States of America has become one of the places that is shrinking to the foreigners, all right? And every day, Trump is making sure that he fulfills his promise to the Americans. People, he said that America is the land of Americans and not other people from outside. He says that he doesn't want garbage from outside, right? Now, do you consider yourself garbage? That's just a question I'm posing. I don't know. What do you think? But let's get to it. Now, Trump, of course, has come up to call Ilhan garbage from all the way from his own country. And I don't know what you think about this. And that is not the first or the last statement. Recently, of course, you saw the controversy behind Trump. Trump decided to, put a lot of police in the city. And people are asking, why should we have these guard police who are supposed to be offering more kind of reinforcement during trouble? Anyway, let me just ensure I connect the computer first. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so let's quickly go into that analysis, and you are free to watch my other videos and drop a comment. I'm so really, and I don't know whether to say quite so, too, and greatly, and overwhelmingly, and many other vocabularies, guys. Overwhelmingly excited that you people, you are hilariously supporting my channel, and I'm so appreciative, guys. So this afternoon I've just come briefly to do an analysis on what Trump talked about Iran, and of course I should be pulling the receipts, because normally when you talk about something and without showing where the evidence is, people think that you're spreading gossip or you're just doing a free backlash. And of course, into this world, I'm working just based on my critical aspect, because I understand that's my strength, or weakness rather. They always say your weakness is your strength and your strength is your weakness, right? So let's go for it and check on what we saw Trump sharing out there. And of course, in the evening now, we'll be coming back to Nyabohanse to do a critical analysis. But for now, let's go for the analysis on Trump in the USA. People from America, what do you say? Lucy, welcome in the house. You can share with us what do you know about the aspect of our latest president of America. Of course, I say our, but he rejected us, right? He said that he doesn't want people in America because you are picking the jobs that are supposed to be done by Americans. You are occupying resources that are supposed to be owned by Americans. You are also getting into this land with an easy ticket and, making it, I don't know, I don't remember the exact word he used, but I'm rather just trying to paraphrase. And so let's get to it, because Trump called Ilhan Omar, the U.S. Somalis, garbage. Okay? Yeah. So what does this mean? Does it mean then that even Ilhan himself is garbage? All right? Yeah, Ilhan Omar, U.S. Somalis, garbage. Why did he call it that? He said they're ripping off Minnesota. And of course, recently I did another video on the people from Somalia and Ethiopia. There is a claim that they easily go to America, acquire wealth. They eat, like they tend to be very corrupt, consuming a lot of property that is meant for Americans and money, and sometimes claiming that they have children in the house who deserve help, or the old who deserve help. Then they collect that money, and the dump site has become Kenya. So they come back to Kenya and buy houses all over the places, including Somali, right? I hope you get it now. So let's pull out the receipts and get to see what Trump has been doing out there as an analysis. And I don't know what you think about this. All right? All right, so we are here. All right, let's be here. Bucket God, crazy? Which is incompetent man. There's something wrong with him. I think that Walsh is a grossly incompetent man. There's something wrong with him. Okay.
There's something wrong with him. And when you look at what he's done with Somalia, which is barely a country, they have no anything. They just run around killing each other. There's no structure. The United States of America is a bad place. It hates everybody, hates Jewish people, hates everybody. And I think she's an incompetent person. She's a real rip. Hates everybody, hates Jewish people, hates everybody. And I think she's an incompetent person. She's a...
Oh, it happens on apart from herself. So that's why they are considering her incompetent. And Beckard says here Wells is incompetent. Of course, so he is actually adding up to the argument of Trump, possibly accepting that indeed there is incompetence in Ilhan, Wells, right? Anita Purity, a moment, just some minutes before I'll be going back to my duty. So you're saying that Wells is incompetent? Is it because of hating other people? Is it because of not doing anything? Or what exactly? Why do you think Wells is incompetent? Because I would wish to know, away from what Trump has said in US, indicating that she has actually not liked anybody, including the Jews and any other person in Minnesota. Do we have any other thing that you can share out to make us understand that she is indeed incompetent and garbage in quotes, as Trump has indicated? Or do you think this is mere labeling? Is it a racial thing or it's a real? Is it actually the actual, kind of description she should given or deserves? Or what do you think? Because the other day we did an analysis on something else. So Beckard says we went from billions of dollars in surplus, then went to deficit of billions. All right, get it. Actually, economic growth is one of the things that is really considered in a country. And if there is enough food, there is plenty of resources, that is one thing you have to appreciate for a nation. Without it, then it automatically tells us about incompetence. Now, you realize that I've been with a lot of nations in Africa, not much about UK, US, Canada, and all that, but I'm yet to come to this. And the other day I did some analysis on Burkina Faso and Ghana. When you look at those countries, there is there's no deficit. Instead, there is growth in terms of supplies, food, and whatever. And they are trying so much to shield their money in a manner that they don't have to send a delegate of, just a bunch of people to go sleep in other countries without really working for their nations. They are cutting down those budgets, and not just to keep the money in their pockets. They are doing so that they can enhance their countries. They are trying so much to work on laws and also, kind of bring people on board. And this is something that most of us like. Susan Bock, welcome. Thank you so much for coming around. I really appreciate your presence on my channel. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Of course, as I've said, I'll not take a lot of time here. I'm left with about 15 minutes, but you'll bear with me. It's only unfortunate that I can't have so much time because of the activity I'm conducting, but I have to come here, question some things, 1, 2 from different areas, and then go back. Then we'll get to meet another moment as we discuss more. So 15 minutes and I'll be gone. All right. So Giwolu Wolemuyiwa, hello, welcome. How are you? I hope you're fine. Thank you so much. Just as Susan Bock, Beckard Gad, Anita Purity, and Giwao Lowell Lemuyiwa. That's a very long name, right? Okay. So let's check here again.
Terrible person. But when I watch what is happening in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes, or however many lakes they have, they got a lot of lakes. But this beautiful place, and I see these people ripping it off. And now I'm understanding, and you're going to look into that's I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you.
To be honest, actually, when I look at this, and having checked the other video that was talking about the kind of, it's more of theft, There are a lot of people, the Somalis in Minnesota, what they are doing, they're ensuring that they really milk that money for welfare. So they create a system in which they access the funds, and all they do is to transfer it back home. And they don't do much for America. And that is why actually Trump called them, those people right there as garbage. Because if somebody is not bringing in something, and all they have to do is to consume, how would you consider them anyway? Okay? Yeah. And of course, nobody can be happy with such a situation, right? You can't be so happy with a lot of money being siphoned from your country and it's going away to other countries and people are just using it. They are using your country as a channel to grow. And not just grow in a sincere, honest manner. All they are doing is stealing from you, right? Stealing all the time. All they are doing is stealing, right? And one thing I don't understand here is many, and I'm not really attacking everybody, but I want to understand Somalis are Muslims, right? And most Muslims say that ni haram kuiba, all right? Like it's wrong to steal. But then, why does it happen that when it goes now to matters to do with ownership, they are not really playing a clear game? And now talk of other countries. That is why currently you go to Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and many other countries, you're going to find Somalis who are exiting their countries and coming to our countries to invest, and they easily get it because after all, somebody, a farmer somewhere or an owner of land somewhere doesn't have maybe school fees, they don't have money for paying medical care and what have you. And they have got this Somali who has come from America having stolen from Minnesota or whatever it is. So what they do, they come to Kenya, they easily acquire property, they build houses, and they are building estate after estate. We are not envious about this, we're just worried about the trend, all right? Because if the trend is bringing in people who are going to be radical, irrational, then what? Okay? So Beckett is saying, alive, and I live in Minnesota. Sorry, Beckett. I can feel what you experience right there in Minnesota. But there is one way, if Trump has discovered this is happening, and he knows that Wells is incompetent, then he needs to do something about it. He needs to do something about it because you cannot just see people, actually you are now quoting them, considering them garbage, and you know they're not gaining or rather giving any kind of a value to your country, and you continue maintaining them there. I believe Trump is trying to actually crush every other person from America. But he doesn't have to do that to everybody. But once he realizes this is the garbage, this is somebody that does not deserve to be here, then he needs to do it, okay? Beckett says, why is the Muslim call of prayer allowed to be broadcast in Minneapolis, but a Christian church can broadcast worship music on the loudspeaker? Unfortunately, what happens is that these people are irrational. If I can tell you the truth, just to be frank, I know some of you listen to me, maybe you're in that, but some of them are very irrational. And what they want to do is they want to actually indoctrinate people in their religion, but they don't want people to practice their own. Of course, I saw yesterday somebody coming to my channel over lunchtime. I was talking and saying a woman should not teach, quoting a lot of Quranic, parts. And I said, oh, my brother, I respect your aspect of culture, but I'm not part of it, all right? So if I'm not part of your family, how would you really want to customize me into that culture? You get it? So the one thing that is a problem with our friends is that they are irrational. They're kind of irrational and radical. Hello, Susan Buck. I said hi to you. You must have been busy. You didn't get me, but I'm so happy that you are in my channel. Thank you so much for showing up. Ray Gibson, welcome. Yesterday I saw you. Today I've seen you. I'm really appreciative. Now let's get to something here before we can go to Banisa, Kenya.
No, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. They came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise.
All right, so Trump says that some people live in Minnesota, they live in paradise and they can't say they're living in paradise. All they say, complain, 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 complain. So he's saying he doesn't want people who complain all the time in his country because they're garbage. Where they come from, there's nothing. But once they arrive in America, they don't feel like they're in paradise when they're indeed in paradise. What do you think about this? Is this comment really going extra mile, trying to degrade, or is it realistic? And of course, from what I can see from Beckett Agad, who lives in Minnesota, he says, I support their freedom to practice their religion as much as Catholics, Jews, Christians, Hindus. Yeah, of course they should practice it, but they should not try to impose on people. That's what I think, all right? Yeah, practice your thing, practice your culture, practice your values, but don't try to impose on anybody. Because everybody has their own way of living, their own way of life, and they have reasons to do that, of course. Unless something is like a cult, there's no reason why you should try to make me move away from my religion just to impose your own religion on me, right? Susan Bock, you are asking where are you coming from? Of course, I'm from Kenya, Africa. How about you? You can let us know. Beckett, it says, here to live, here to take over. Yeah, sometimes that's what they do. They want to live and take over something. You get it? And that's the problem with them invading a country so much. They want to live and take over. Okay? Yeah, so let's get to Banisa in Kenya. Banisa in Kenya, there were elections that were conducted recently, and of course we saw somebody elected. It's so funny that this guy came up to testify that foreigners were the ones who voted for him. You get it? Now, in Kenya, we've been complaining about this left, right, but nobody cares. I don't know whether they consider that we are living in paradise, just like Trump said of the ilhan, or is it a different scenario? Because we have been complaining about foreigners just getting their, like they are getting everything they need so easily. Something that cannot happen to Kenyans. But let's go for it and check briefly on it. I can see my time is running so far 6 minutes and I should be away from here. So let's get to check on this. So Banisa, right here.
When you have the perfect response in your head, but your fingers just can't keep up. We've all been there.
Yiman Shupal, you are funny. You don't have to come here and expect that I'll be looking at you or focusing on you.
Whispered during every election cycle, debated in political rallies. A brand new MP begins with a sentence that instantly froze the country, a sentence Kenyans have feared for decades, whispered during every election cycle, debated in political rallies, feared in border counties, and now suddenly spoken out loud on camera.
My name is Ahmed Maalim Hassan, the newly elected Banisa MP. As you are aware of, we've just came from the ground in Banisa, and the drought there is on another level. Even the people who voted for us, we had to move them from the interior of Ethiopia and
get this. Did you hear that? In Banisa, the people who voted came from Ethiopia interior. Did you get that? And the MP just said it. Guys, so you can see that people can now export or rather import. They can export, or rather import the voters from other countries. Is this the reason why our president decided that there's no vetting for the candidates? I'm scared about this because the consequence this can do is that individuals are going to win, but they are not going to represent the people who actually voted for them. These people are actually voting from other countries. They're just doing it for convenience purposes and then they go away. They don't know who's the best leader, who's the worst leader, why they are voting them, and they cannot even hold the leaders accountable. You get it? I hope you get the political aspect here. The scenario is going to be worse if this is going to happen on border towns. Let's say Busia, the side of Bungoma. Let's say now Taita Taveta, of course, it borders Tanzania. We have the other side when you go to Turkana and all the way to the other side of Banisa, among others. So you realize that the MP comes in parliament and he said that he came from Banisa. Recently, the voting happened and the people who voted came from the interior of Ethiopia. I hope you got it. All right, so let's get to see more, and we'll be talking about it.
And other counties that are neighboring us, just because we have left with their livestock.
That single admission that residents who had crossed into Ethiopia and neighboring counties were mobilized and transported back to vote has triggered one of the most heated political conversations Kenya has seen since the last general election. Because for many Kenyans, especially in urban centers far from the northern frontier, this moment feels like something deeper, something they have long feared might finally be unfolding.
These things have a serious security implication. Sio kitu ya kufanya kiolala namna hii. Itafika mahali hawa watu watakuja kwa wingi, hata MCA atachaguliwa, hata MP atachaguliwa, hata governor atachaguliwa, hata msumbukiwa president atachaguliwa na atakuwa mgeni. Wengine wataingia kwa jeshi, wataingia kwa polisi. Itafika mahali escort commander wa president mwenyewe atakuwa mgeni, hatakuwa mgeni.
Yeah, you get it now? Of course, Natembeya spoke about this the other day. And maybe people are just considering it's a political kind of propaganda. But you just heard from the horse's mouth. The Banisa MP was just elected the other day. He comes out to testify in parliament that those who voted for him came from the interior of Ethiopia. How are you going to check whether these people are Kenyans or foreigners? Now, if this trend goes on for an entire time, what's going to happen? Automatically, we are going to have people voted for seats even when they are not Kenyans. You get it? And at the end of the day, what the consequences are that we are not going to have people to represent us. We are also going to see a negative impact on our economy and also our social life, because these are people who are just invading, infiltrating the borders and coming in with their own selfish interests, right? So if we get into this deeper analysis, only that I don't have more time because I'm almost just having 1 minute or two. Let me finish with the last thing that was on my discussion today, and that was about Mbijiwe. Mwenda Mbijiwe actually disappeared in 2021, right? For those of us who know. And now, up to now, he has never been found. Nobody has an account of where he is. Now, recently, of course, there was a court case and the mother came into, in court. And the testimony is quite, it's quite chilling. If you listen to it, it's chilling. And there are some prospect that possibly he is in the hands of the state. Who knows? Okay? So let's check on the Teresa 1057 says, this is horrible. It happened in the USA and we have 38 at least elected politicians. All right. SSE programs. Wewe ndi utaacha upuzi mwingi. You can go where you belong, because if you don't know why you are here, I don't know why you are coming to drop a comment. You can do some other business, okay? So let's check on the Mbijiwe story.
The High Court has ordered the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and DCI boss Amin Mohammed to appear in court on the 16th of December to explain the whereabouts of security analyst Mwenda Mbijiwe, who went missing in 2021. In an emotional court session, Mbijiwe's mother, Jen Gatwiri, narrated to the court how her son lived in fear after receiving threats from powerful people. Gatwiri said she believes her son is still alive and is being held incommunicado by the state. Gatete Njoroge explains.
How Mbijiwe was a marked man and knew his enemies were closing in on him.
Unajua Mwenda alikuwa anatumia tangali zake, alikuwa na threats mingi kutoka kwa wakubwa kutoka mbele. Very senior people, nimewaandika kwa hiyo barua saa utaona, na si ati ni mambo ya uongo nimesema. Kama nimesema uongo nistakiwa na nipelekwa kotini.
Gatwiri says she sought help from senior government officials who assured her that Mbijiwe will be released, but that promise has never been fulfilled.
Serikali iko pale kulinda wananchi wake, si kuua. Kama vile mnaua, mjue mko na watoto na watoto wenu watafanywa vile mnafanyia watoto wetu.
The family lawyer Evans Ondieki has challenged the proposal by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to forward the file to a magistrate's court for purposes of opening an inquest.
They are saying they received the file. They can't disclose what is in the file, but they want an inquest, presumably for a person who is missing, presumed dead. So you can see where they are heading. They are actually telling us that the man is not alive, but we want to know who killed him and why.
I stand that Mbijiwe is very much alive, and within this Nairobi they are trying to twist things, but I want to tell them, if I thought they killed my son, God in heaven is watching of them. They are going to face very soon.
Justice Muya, while noting the seriousness of the case, directed the...
Alright guys, I don't have much time to go deeper into this, but it's unfortunate that sometimes parents have to lose their children in the hands of the state. And maybe if I may ask a question, do you believe that Mbijiwe is still alive or already he is dead? And if he's dead, who killed him? Why is the state now coming up to insinuate that he's dead? And if that is the case, why can't we have his body so that the family buries him and also he has, they have a peace of mind? Now, that is what we have been able to analyze this afternoon. I didn't have much time to go into deeper details, but I really appreciate. Teresa says in America we can have immigrants, but not being a politician. Hope in Kenya, only Kenyan-born citizen can be politician in your government. Immigration are welcome as long as, well, they follow laws. Unfortunately, Teresa, in Kenya, what is happening currently, we are going to have these people acquiring documentation because there is an open way of people acquiring documents now. The checks and all that vetting has been done away with. So it is so possible that very soon they may get the documents and become citizens. Who knows? And then after all, whatever will happen, only God knows. All right. So bye-bye for now. You can watch my other videos. Check on whatever I've shared. I don't have much time to discuss, but in the evening or later, we will get to have time. Bye-bye for now, and thank you so much for showing up on my channel.